I'm live here, and it says I'm live here. So let's get going. Islam, 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 Ism. We are here, we are here, we are here for 30 minutes more or less. Happy holy day to all Moors and Muslims all over the world. I am Sister Tahida S. Najiola of CalifaMedia.com, mrcicharities.org and com under construction, Rise of the Moors.org and com, and certifiedmoorish.org and com. I am here once again for my weekly roundup, right? Giving Moors something to discuss prior to their temple meeting. We've been instructed to hold, I believe, after 7 p.m. I think it's around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, I'm coming on at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So hopefully this is in enough time for Moors to get, observe, intake, share, all that good stuff. So yeah, here we are once again. And today I want to try something different. I'm going to do a corrections, not retractions, just corrections, because it's like, well, that was close, but it wasn't exact. So it's not a retraction. So it's a correction, as well as accepting questions and doing my best to answer, right? And maybe I'll ask y'all some questions too, because, I don't know everything. I know I don't know everything, right? That kind of thing. So anyway, while I'm giving people time to get in here, I will still be covering announcements and a few weekly news items that I think Moors might find interesting or should probably just be aware of. If not, do something about, get ready, stay ready. What is that? What's that saying? Foresight, forewarning is for preparing, something like that. It's a dope saying. It says, hey, if you know better, you'll do better, especially if you see it coming. So this week, news items are what happens when you don't run. Still be banging on that immigration drum because Jupiter is in Cancer, giving a little oracle stuff right here. Jupiter is in Cancer. Cancer rules nationalism. Jupiter rules expansion. So there's an expansion in nationalism. There's protests going on all over the world. Not just, and it's just timely, the Moors in America have finally realized, we need to start demanding what's our portion too, because we do deserve something. We're not going to have what happened in the 60s happen to us, wherein while the other colonies were casting out their colonizers, here we got Martin Luther or Michael Luther, whatever his name was, King Jr., saying, no, massa, put the other boot on my neck. All right, while everybody else was, establishing what at least they could say, this is mine, that kind of thing. Islam to y'all who are here and those who will see this later on. Peace and love. All right, so that's what happens when you don't run. And same old song, as in Guard Your Senses part 2. And as usual, I have my notes because why? I respect your time. I won't keep y'all too long because I am admittedly starving and I need to go get something to eat because I'm like super duper hungry. So anyway, announcements. New book. If you haven't heard, Califa Media has a new book coming out wherein I myself will be breaking down the 508 incorporation process that goes along with the 508 incorporation toolkit, available at CalifaMedia.com and CalifaMedia.works, because I'm moving my shop over because I'm not getting a sponsorship for this, but GoDaddy sucks. All right, there we go. So I'm migrating away from GoDaddy. So my shop, all the new stuff will be in that shop because I figured why put it in this old shop that I'm about to shut down. All right, so that's over there. Speaking of books, I have in-house now available for immediate shipping. What is this? Isonomy. Okay. Very popular book, Isonomy. And I also have the Torch Black and White edition. All right. I have these here because I had to wait for them to be in-house before I took them down from everywhere else. Because since this is my bestseller, I have a problem with what is that? Or these are a couple of bestsellers. I have a problem with certain platforms taking a larger cut than the publisher gets. So if you want a copy, you'll have to get that in-house going forward. All right. I see why people don't like certain platforms. I won't name them here because I'm still up there. All right. So that's that. don't have a new service out. Oh, Mercy Charity site rebuild. Again, this goes back to GoDaddy sucks. So I've moved Mercy Charities is temporarily shut down, and I am rebuilding it on a much better site. I'm just moving it over. I'm like not even actually I am rebuilding it because I can do it better now. So in that spirit, right? There are coffers. If you don't know what a coffer is, think of like you ever heard that saying how they say folks that got money hidden under the mattress? That's a coffer. It's a cache of cash that folks don't know that you have, right? And they don't know you have it because you don't necessarily keep it somewhere or whatever. They just don't know where you have it, right? So Mercy Charities actually has a cache because I've been so busy doing other things. I haven't had a chance to get with the board to arrange to actually do something with the cash in the cash, CASH, cash in the cash, CASHE, or CACHE, the cash in the cash. Anyway, actually, the cash in the coffer. There we go. We'll put it like that. So I haven't had time to arrange meetings to determine what we're going to be doing with the coffers. So there's money sitting there. Okay. I don't want to dip into that in the event that something actually comes up and more need help in a hurry. So in that spirit, I'm putting together a fundraiser. Oh, this is timely. This is the first fundraiser of 2025 that Mercy Charities will be having. All right. And I guess I need to let the board know, but I'm just doing this on the fly. So this will be the first fundraiser for Mercy Charities to fund the rebuild of the site. It's not a lot. It's like 200. I think it's like $200, right? Because I'll be doing it. It's just paying for the what is that? To purchase the domain and the hosting for 1 year. That's what it goes towards. I'll donate my services, that kind of thing. So and it's not like, oh, just give me your money and get nothing back. No, we will be using Ice Bingo. I'm like, this is a great idea, but I don't feel comfortable selling something like this, exploiting people's bad or misfortune, even though they reveled in my misfortune or the misfortune of my people. I don't want to go that route, but I want to do something with it. Like, oh, look, we need to fund a new site build or just to pay for the site. I'll build it, that kind of thing. And why not sell more these bingo cards? I should have printed one out because I could print one out and cut it. I'll have it up. I'll have it with me next time I'm on here, or I'll post it tonight. I'll have to get that done. But basically, this is my effort to not only drum up some money and say, yay, we got at least one fundraiser in fiscal year 2025, at least one, right? And we're raising money to fund this site, right? And the people who donate will actually get something back. In this case, it's going to be a bingo card where it's all the nationalities that have invaded Moorish lands, and then their names will be there, and that'll be on a card, like a cardboard card, and you'll get a sheet of stickers of ice cubes. And so then when you hear of an ice raid, and they say some nationality, because it's like everybody's being targeted individually. That's where the idea came from. You can take your ice cube and put it right there on that nationality because they got iced, right? Because these mugs, for whatever reason, foreigners are coming at us because of what the colonists are doing to them. So instead of fighting with them, I'm going to channel that energy into raising money to build a website so we can fund our charity and get some work done. Because this charity can be used to access a whole bunch of stuff. And it's there. So it's a 501c3 so that temples don't have to be a 501c3. All right. So that's that. Yeah. And again, 100% of proceeds are going to Mercy Charities after expenses because I got to still pay for the paper. My services are free, but the paper ain't. All right. So anyway, next, while I'm letting people get in here, if you got a question you would like for me to answer, I could try my best, just go and put it in there. And by the time I get to the end of these couple of news items, hopefully everybody will be up in here who has a question and, has been guided to be here. La-di-da. So first item. So I said my two things that I wanted to cover were what happens when you don't run and same old song, Guard Your Senses Part 2. So what happens when you don't run? Okay. Oh, that's the cat. Syria elects new parliament 10 months after the Assad family falls. I'm going to just read this off to y'all, okay? For the first time in over half a century, Syrians are voting in parliamentary elections without the Assad family's iron grip on power. This is from, I just asked ChatGPT, what can you tell me about this? I know about it, but what can you tell me briefly about it? So, starting over. What happens when you don't run? Syria elects new parliament 10 months after Assad family falls. For the first time in half a century, Syrians are voting in parliamentary elections without the Assad family's iron grip on power. 10 months after the regime's collapse, a coalition government of transitional leaders has managed to organize a national vote amid a still fragile peace. The end of Assad's role, once considered unthinkable, followed years of civil war, foreign intervention, and internal division. Now, with Damascus under new leadership, Syria faces a monumental task of rebuilding both its infrastructure and its political identity. Reports say voter turnout has been steady in Damascus and Aleppo, though rural and Kurdish-held areas saw low participation due to ongoing instability. Internationally, the elections are being closely watched. Russia and Iran, longtime allies of the old regime, because I think the Assad family is actually hiding out in Russia right now. They remain deeply embedded in the country's military and energy sectors. Okay, so while Western and Gulf nations are vying for influence in recognition or reconstruction contracts and political alliances, many fear this new parliament could become a proxy battlefield for competing powers rather than a true representation of the Syrian people. Still, for millions of Syrians, the symbolism of voting freely for the first time in decades represents a fragile hope that the country can finally move forward. Now, why do I bring that up? Oh, look at that. The Syrians finally got their country back after one family managed to get hold of their land, right? At least those people were, the family that was holding Syria hostage was supposedly also Syrian. I brought that up because I just wanted to bring that up for the Moors to have that in the back of their mind for serious consideration. It took them a while to get that family. We got numerous families of leeches on us. Take your pick to overthrow them, right? And then after that government fell, it took them time, 10 months, nearly a year, to get organized to the point where they can now hold elections, no matter how legitimate they are. I just bring that up to say it can be done. All right. I tell my children, if you see other people doing it, you can do it. They are no better than you. In fact, you probably are better than them based on who you are and where you are. Because I got a feeling that, if you're in the wrong spot, certain things ain't going to work out as well for you as they would have if you were in your own spot, right? That kind of thing. So have heart, Moors. They did it. I'm not saying, well, we better. No, I'm just saying, look, there's an example of a society falling after how many years of civil war because of what the United States was doing. Hello, internal strife by the indigenous because of what the United States interference. It fell. I don't think this would actually fall, what we got going on over here. But they managed to get themselves organized and all that chaos and still hold elections. And then it's hilarious because the guy who's arranging all this, once upon a time, had a $10 million bounty on his head, placed on his head by the United States, who is now congratulating them on holding their election. It's just funny how quickly stuff can switch. Okay, so have heart. So next one, same old song, Guard Your Senses, part 2. So I don't know if you've heard. Trump is trying to resurrect the Insurrection Act. I'm going to read this off real quick and then give my viewpoint on it. So former president, what does it say former? Whoa, why does this say former? I just printed this up like 20 minutes ago. All right, why does it say former? All right, so President Donald Trump is reportedly seeking to invoke the Insurrection Act, a 200-year-old law that allows a president to deploy the U.S. military domestically to quell unrest or rebellion. The last time it was used was in 1992 during the Rodney King riots in Los Angeles, and before that in the 1960s to enforce school desegregation orders in the South when local governments resisted civil rights rulings. If it acted again, this would mark one of the most extreme uses of presidential powers in modern history. The move comes amid escalating protests and civil unrest, which Trump and his allies claim threaten national security. Critics argue it would amount to using the military against civilians, a dangerous escalation that could violate constitutional rights and deepen national divisions. Legal experts say the Insurrection Act was meant for moments of absolute breakdown, not political maneuvering. Its invocation would bypass governor's authority and place troops directly under presidential command, effectively suspending normal civilian oversight. Given the recent and current political tensions, many fear this could ignite a constitutional crisis, not resolve one. The memory of troops on American streets, especially after the racial justice protests of recent years, makes this a deeply emotional and volatile issue. All right, before I keep going, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for your support. I bring this up because the last two times this thing was used, the Insurrection Act, it involved Moors. Whatever they were calling themselves, it involved Moors. So the first time was, or the first time this within the last 100 years, right? It doesn't even say anything before that. I don't know what the first time was, but it had to be passed for something because I bet I have to look it up, but I have a suspicion that it has something to do with the Civil War, the Insurrection Act, because it says it's 200 years old. So that's right around the Civil War time, right? So I bet it has something to do with us yet again, right? So the last time it was used was because we were flipping out after Rodney King got beat up. And then the time before that was to shoehorn our children into schools with people who hated them, i.e. also known as integration. And I'm just like, as soon as I heard that, could you please go somewhere? Go on. As soon as I heard that, the first thing I thought was, is this yet another attempt to get our attention? Because again, certain people, only one group of people's attention matters, which is why they're always in our face. They always try to drag us into their stuff, even though we're just sitting there, right? So are you trying to invoke this thing so that you could move against us? But I'm not sure how that will work because we're trying our best to stay out of everything. All right. Like all of a sudden, these young brothers are showing up in trees and hanging in people's sheds. We're not used to that. It's tragic, right? But it's unfortunate that we're numb. We're to the point where it's like, okay, it's another day that ends in Y. This is what happens when you live with monsters, all right? Or non-human entities. I guess that is a monster, huh? So be careful, Moors. This whole insurrection. I'm like, let me look this up because I keep hearing it everywhere. Oh, last time you used it was to our benefit that turned out to be a detriment, integration. And then the time before that was because this brother got beat up and they got the people that beat him up got away with it. Okay. Stuff it tends to travel in threes. You know how our people got their sayings and all. Oh, my left hand itching. This is one of those things, right? So that's that. All right. So that's all the news. How long I'm in there? 20 minutes. Okay. So corrections and Q&A. So first the corrections, and then I'll get to the Q&A. Hopefully YouTube holds up. It's because I don't know if y'all heard all these solar flares. If your internet has been going in and out, it's not because your internet is cheap. It's because these crazy solar flares or solar vacuums, because something's floating around in the sky, pulling on that energy, trying to power itself, whatever, right? So corrections. Oh, but since I brought up the objects in the heavens, right? Look up type of thing. Don't forget what's coming up. Marsh Meetup Georgia is coming up in November. It's November 14th through the 17th. And one of the venues on the itinerary is a visit to an observatory where we can for free, go and look through like actual high-powered telescopes, right? I think on that Friday, it might be guided. You never know what might happen, because the last time we were there, we we hiked up to Stone Mountain to the top, and right as we got to the top, it was like what is that, perihelion of the full moon that night. And that was not planned. What are the chances we showed up on a full moon at all? And right when we got there, it was like the height, and then it started sinking. It was dope. It was dope. I got pictures. You can go see them on riseofthemoors.org/Georgia. The pictures from last year are there. If you scroll down past the itinerary and poster for this year's meetup, same time. It's like a reunion. No, it is actually a reunion. So that'll be that. There's more details coming soon. But if you can't wait, it's on riseofthemoors.org right there. You can just click right there. Okay. So, and also, Moorish Hall of Learning is having their, what is that? Oh boy, I'm blanking. Oh, film studies tomorrow, Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern, where we will be watching or discussing Martin Lawrence's Black Knight. Is that the name of it? Black Knight? Right. It's like one of those things where you know it so well. It's like, what is it? You know it so well, you unknow it type of thing. So that's an option. And details are on Instagram and on certifiedmoorish.org/temple finder. Should be up there. All right. So correction. And then I'm going to get to the questions and get off this thing because I got to go eat. Okay. One of the corrections was that Churchill, I think it was one of them, I said that, what's his name? Winston Churchill. He's the descendant of a bunch of aristocrats over there, pale aristocrats. And I said that his mother was Consuelo Vanderbilt. No. His mother, I said that because it's like he didn't get the respect he probably could have had because he had his dirty blood, because he was half American aristocrat. That part was correct. That's why I said this ain't a retraction. That part was correct. His mother was an so-called American aristocrat, colonial American aristocrat. They always leave stuff off. Colonial American aristocrat. That's what his mother was. And then his cousin married Consuelo Vanderbilt, who was also a colonial American aristocrat. There we go. So I was right, but I brought up two different situations where both the same thing had happened, right? So that's twice at the trash of Europe, because these people were trash. Both of them were. It's so bogus how people doing this place. And I think that's in the Bible where they actually said that the temple would be robbed, the garden would be pillaged, that kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, that's what these people did. They couldn't make it work everybody can't make it work in their own homeland. So they come over here, blood suck, right? Become a filthy aristocrat. They're still okay. Now you got money. That does not make you royal. That does not make you noble, right? But I said that was twice in this example with the Churchill family. That was twice at the trash of Europe. They really were. The trash of Europe was able to get their glow up by invading and exploiting America so that they could return as wealthy merchants and marry into these aristocratic families that had squandered their wealth. And isn't this what everybody's doing now? And they were like, well, we can either give them their stuff back, the Moors, or we can invite the world over to do the exact same thing. They can come over here and get their glow up and say, look how well I did over here, but I couldn't do that over there. I'm not great, right? No, you're not great. Check yourself, because we're going to start checking you, right, Moors? Yeah, check yourself. And I love how the Japanese they dealt with this. All right. And then we'll get to the questions. How, first of all, in Japan, this is feudal Japan, because I studied it, because I'm like, man, y'all had 200 years of isolation. Let me see what that does to a culture, right? One of the things it did was you can be a merchant. You can get as rich as you want, but we going to keep you in check because we see how y'all acting. This is how they dealt with it. So they had something called the sumptuary laws, where, okay, we have nobles. This is how if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while. Nobles, ranking them in order of status. Again, royals, nobles, okay, clergy, as in the priesthood, farmers, artisans, the people that make stuff, merchants. The richest ones were the merchants, but they were the lowest rung on society. You know why? Because they were considered leeches, bloodsuckers, expendable, because their fortune is bad enough that you're richer than everybody else, but it's based off of selling other people's talents. There's nothing honorable in that, right? It's like Edison, how they laud Thomas Edison. He like didn't do anything except find the right people. What about these other billionaires, right? And the way they kept these mugs in check was you could be as rich as you want, but if that merchant's daughter, I love this example, if that merchant's daughter has a doll that's bigger than that samurai's daughter, there's no question or discussion off with her head, the child, and her father's head. No, child first, so that you can see where you messed up. Do you think they had problems out of their merchant class? They do now, but they didn't when they had those sumptuary laws in place. All right, now I'm done with that. That's 26 minutes in. I'm gonna try to see if I can find some questions. I'm gonna go ahead and If you got questions, you better ask them now because I don't know. I gotta go eat. Oh, I got a salad waiting on me. That's exactly what I'm about to have. Let's see. Sorry if this thing is shaking. I'll invest in something better. Uh-oh. I don't know what just happened. Let me go down real quick. I'm gonna go through y'all stuff because I'm on Instagram is law and YouTube. So no questions, no questions. If I'm missing it, please put it back so it'll pop up and then I'll get it, or else I'm about to hop off this thing. And if you want to ask me a question, you can always email me at certified editor or info at califamedia.com, or you can go to califamedia.com and or any of the websites, califamedia.com, Rise of the Moors, and certifiedmoorish.org. I would say Mercy Charities, but that's under construction. And just hit contact me and send me a question. I'll be glad to answer your questions. But if I don't see nothing, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off this thing. Gratitude to the Moors on YouTube. That's dope. Happy Holy Day to all of y'all. All right, cool. Again, if you have any questions for me, email me and I'll read them off the next time online. I'm online, and that'll be next Friday because I am switching to Tuesday chamber chats where we talk about business to every 2 weeks because I got stuff going on, right? Like putting out permanent media, something where the power went out, my stuff is still there because I spent more time working on books than videos. No offense. This is a great medium to let you know what I got going on in real life. So, all right, that kind of thing. So I'll check y'all later, man. Moors. Have a lovely and happy holy day and peace of love and Islam. Bye-bye, y'all. Peace. All right, cool.